Today we're doing an analysis of Jessica. Who the bloody hell is Jessica, you ask? How dare you bring up this character that's very, very obscure and that I might not know of? Except if I do know it, in which case I'm a brilliant Animorphs fan. But Adam, how could you dare bring up this obscure character? Well, I'm going to tell you why, because she was in one of the best scenes of this book. And I'll tell you what, this book is full of great scenes, and it's actually my favourite from this book, so it's the best of a very good bunch. This follows on quite neatly from my previous analysis, which was on the Animorph. The scene with it's a single chapter with Jessica in it, and it follows directly from the night when they morphed ants, and they're all a bit shell-shocked. And they're in the dining hall at the school, all sitting down for their lunch, having a nice time, filled with thoughts of being torn to pieces. Okay, so that's the scene set for Jessica's entry. At lunch, I ended up at a table with Rachel. She didn't seem to notice me. She was just hunched over her meal, eating mechanically. A girl named Jessica came walking past with her tray. She bumped into Rachel, which made Rachel drop her fork. It splattered down in the food on her tray. I don't know if Jessica did it deliberately or not. She's the kind of girl who thinks she's tough. "Watch it," Rachel snapped. "What?" Jessica demanded, acting outraged. "Are you yelling at me? Don't give me any of your mouth, I might have to slap it for you." Then she shoved against Rachel's back. In a flash, Rachel was up, out of her seat. She spun around. She grabbed Jessica by the collar of her sweatshirt and pushed the girl back against the next table. Jessica probably outweighs Rachel by 20 kilos, but it didn't matter. Rachel had her on her back, on the table, scattering dishes and food everywhere. Rachel leaned over Jessica and in a voice of cold steel said, "Don't touch me." So Rachel is somewhat peeved. So she's eating her lunch like a robot because of the whole ant experience she just had. And this girl, freaking frumpy dumpy Jessica, comes up and barges into her back. And Marco describes her as a girl who likes to think she's tough. And we're also given the description that she weighs about 20 kilos more than Rachel, which is quite a lot. So she's obviously this dolloping walloper. Smacks Rachel on the back of her. "Oh, I didn't fucking mean it, soz." Soz. Yeah, we all know that sort. And Rachel's dropped her fork in the thing, and she just goes from robot Rachel to suddenly Super Rachel from book 48 and takes this junkalunker and whacks her onto the table. "If you fucking speak to me like that again, I'll knock your fucking guts off." Yeah, it's a good scene. It's a great scene. So how does it go from this point onwards? I jumped up and raced to Rachel. I took a deep breath and shoved my arms between them. "Back off, Marco," Rachel said. "Get her off me, she's crazy," Jessica cried. I pushed against Rachel, trying to force her off Jessica. Suddenly, Jessica started lashing out. I assumed she was trying to hit Rachel. She missed. "Ow!" I grabbed my left eye. "What are you hitting me for?" And that's when the first teacher showed up. That's the end of the fight. We can... Did she mean to hit Marco or Rachel? We'll probably never know. She probably, because she's got no agility, she probably just missed and hit Marco because Marco's trying to get between them, which is all fair and love in war. Not quite this war. But Jessica and Rachel and Marco are then dragged off after this fight. Guess who to? 5 minutes later, Jessica, Rachel and I were sitting in the assistant principal's office, Chapman's office. Jessica was acting outraged in a very loud voice. Rachel was staring stonily ahead. I was wondering whether my eye would just keep swelling up. Chapman glared at us. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "Fighting in the dining hall? And you, Rachel, of all people." "What, like you think she's better than me?" Jessica demanded. Chapman ignored her. So we can learn a couple of things about Jessica from this short interaction with Chapman here. So she's probably more likely to get into these sorts of scraps, at least more likely than Rachel, because Chapman's focus is on Rachel as if she was the one he was surprised to be in such a scuffle, which sort of semi-implies that this Jessica girl ends up here quite a lot. So she's probably like a Vicky Pollard sort of girl. If you ever watched Little Britain, I know if you're American you probably haven't, but just type in Little Britain Vicky Pollard. Just type in Vicky.
Is that the I'm Not Bothered lady?
No, that's from the Catherine Tate show.
Oh, is it from?
You're a butt, no butt, you're a butt, no butt. Shut up! That's who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Don't give me evils. That's Vicky Pollard. And that's what I think this Jessica girl is like. I'll probably put her as the thumbnail. Shall I do that?
Yeah.
Just Vicky Pollard as the thumbnail. Shut up! Don't give me evils. Proper chav. But yeah, so Chapman probably sees her in there quite regularly and just like, I don't care about what you say anymore. You're in there all the freaking time. It's probably why he ignored her. Anyway, what happens next? How do they get out of this situation? It's my fault, Mr. Chapman, I said. Your fault? His eyes narrowed. Yes, sir. They were fighting over me. See, they both want me. They're both madly in love with me. And I can certainly understand why, can't you? Are you crazy, you little toad? Jessica shrieked. But when I glanced over at Rachel, I saw just the slightest hint of tugging at the corner of her mouth, the beginnings of a smile. Chapman yelled at us for a few minutes and told us all to make appointments with the school counsellor. Then he let us go. And that's the last we see of Jessica. We can only assume that she went to the counsellor and never returned. She's still there to this day, being counselled.
Oh dear.
That's it. She's only a very, very minor character, and I don't believe we ever see her again. She's certainly not named again. But she was integral to this one scene, and it was a brilliant scene. So that's why I remember Jessica. I haven't forgot her as a character. I've always remembered her because she was in such a great scene. Just everything about it. If you want to hear me praise it some more, go watch my review of Book 5, The Predator. Yeah, a good character, if a bit stereotypical, but she was used to fill a certain role, and gosh darn, she filled it. With her extra 20 kilos of weight, apparently. Vicky Pollard, Jessica, that's your AniLysis. And I don't know which one I'm going to do next. Put your suggestions in the comments below. I'm starting to get more and more suggestions now, and I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of them, but I'll probably, hold on. Let's waggle the finger stick, and this book, which one have I picked up? The Separation. So if I find something from The Separation to do an AniLysis of...
Oh, nice, Rachel.
Nice, you want me to do an AniLysis of Nice Rachel?
Yeah. You're gonna have to eventually.
Was she part of the overarching Rachel? I could do a separate video for each nice and mean Rachel.
You could do them in the same video.
No, I'll probably do them in 2 twin videos. Okay, so that's what's going to happen next, I imagine, unless something else pops up. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, Jessica, who still remains with the counsellor to this day. Praise be. Thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra!